series went on, you got to know he used to be a member of Dom's gang. And then it just sort of went to Paul Walker's character Brian, left it all behind him and went to live in a nice sort of little secluded place. But then someone always kept coming to them and saying, oh, we need your help to, sort something out, something's gone on. And then they'd all sort of get together, sort it out, and then that would be it, And they sort of stuck to that sort of formula over the past few movies. And this one is pretty much the same thing. It's like, first of all, though, it's like, it's bad. It's really, really bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's really, really bad. If I may quote Michael Jackson for a moment. First, it's the first thing that, I know my movies. And it's set as it opens up in 1989 with Dom's father as a speedway driver. It's a speedway, where they belt round the track in souped up cars. I think it's speedway, whatever they call it anyway. And they, the Universal logo that comes up is an old one, and it's then, and I thought, why have they got the old one? And I thought, oh, I remember reading somewhere that it opens up in the 80s, but this logo didn't come along until 1990, I'm sure. It was 1990, not 89, that this logo was used. So I may be wrong. I don't know. Perhaps someone can look it up. But and then it opens up in 1989, and it sort of has a sort of older sort of look about it. But then you see Dom as a younger man, and it really don't look much like Dom. It's a very poor choice of actor to play him. But that's just nitpicking. Anyway, Dom has a brother, which no one knew about for all those years. All those years we've been watching Fast and Furious. And did you know Dom had a brother? No. But what actually did happen was, Dom is having a go at this other driver, telling him he's like, he don't like his tactics that he uses because he drives very sort of close and tags people and stuff. Anyway, he stopped at like a sort of pit stop, and his brother has, he's gone under the hood his brother is involved in this new thing where they've got this, it's like a tesseract from the Avengers, and that's when it gets really, really silly, really silly. There's this part, because they all come back to see it's the same thing. He's living his life, you know, a nice peaceful life away from it all, and then Roman comes back, and Tez comes back and everything, and you know, there's this. The story then goes that I think they've killed Mr. Nobody, who was Kurt Russell, but they've got this thing anyway that can hack computer weapons and everything, you know. First of all, because the army, that's another thing, it's like the army sent by someone comes and tries attacking them all when they're in this place that don't even exist. They call it something like Isla Bonita or something, but it's not a real place, and actually it looked like Thailand to me. Whenever they go over Thailand it looks like that, but apparently it's no place I've ever heard of. And then it starts looking like Jurassic Park. Anyway, they're getting chased by all these helicopters and missiles and everything, and there's this bridge that's a bit like the one in Indiana Jones, and it's all falling apart. So is it Tez and Roman go over this bridge, and the bridge is collapsing as they're like, you know, the bridge is almost gone by this time, but somehow they're hanging on. It pushes the nitrous, and then you see the horizon, you know, and the bridge is completely gone, and then they come flying over the top. Over the top, pardon the pun. It is over the top. Now Hetty and Dom have got to get across this bridge. Watch it. I'm just going to say watch it, okay? He gets across this bridge, he does. I ain't going to tell you how, but he does. Also, they've got these magnets. Turn them on. And it's really funny because I think it is Tez. Nice Roman got this gold necklace on. It's supposed to be like solid gold or, you know, whatever, precious metal. And they turn magnets on in this van, and this necklace rips off and sticks. And Tez says to him, you thought that was real, didn't you? They're now going down the street, or down the roads, turning on these magnets that are pulling down like, you know, power cables. I mean, I don't know much, but I think they're made of copper and aluminium. I don't think there's enough metal in them. No proper metal that would be magnetic to pull them down, but there's enough to pull them down. Also, they have enough power to just pull what they want over. So they'll be like cars, but they only want this one particular car, so you turn the magnet on, and it's powerful enough to pull this car all the way through a store window and out the other side. But nothing else made of metal must be around, because nothing else follows the car. It's just the car, so it's very, 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 very silly. But it's funny. Also, let's get to Han. What you don't know. Well, as you know, what did happen Shaw, who is played by Jason Statham, blew up his car. He didn't really crash. Unbeknown to all of us, Han had made a deal with Mr. Nobody. So Mr. Nobody had set up Jason Statham's character to blow him up, but Han got out of the car. Yeah, he did. Before anything even happened. Yes, I know, we see him lying in the car. We see Sean run up to the car and he's lying in it. And then it all blows up. Yes, we did see that, didn't we? But that ain't what happened. Han was really David Copperfield, or David Blaine, or, you know, Penn and Teller. He must have been trained by them to do this. He got out of the car and he's alive. He's not dead. I kid you not, I'm not making this up. But it gets better. They have more magnets. More magnet scenes, which are really funny again. Sean from Tokyo Drift now. And the people from Tokyo Drift, you know, his mates that were from Tokyo Drift, have now made this rocket car. They've put a rocket engine on a car. So it can do about 700 million miles an hour. The team need this because they've got to go up above the Earth, find this satellite, and crash into it. So Roman and Tez. Oh, and also Tez. I thought Tez had like a leg injury. He always used to limp, didn't he? And he couldn't really do much. But he can fight like a trained soldier and beat everyone up. But anyway, that's again nitpicking. Tez, sorry, keep it real. To keep it real. After seeing that, Tez and the other guy put on these divers suits and go up into space. Into space. They're above the Earth now, you know, trying to get to the satellite to crash into it. Anyway, to cut a long story short, they do succeed in saving the world again. Save the world again. Austin Powers is less silly. But anyway, at the end, I don't want to really spoil it, because I really, guys, please watch it, because it's so bad. It's good. It's just so entertaining and funny. I just couldn't stop laughing, because, you know, when Han was alive and they've sort of written it and written it and written it, you know, you saw him way back lying in that car, and then the car blew up. But there was something, you know, what you didn't realise is he'd made a deal with Mr. Nobody, you know, Kurt Russell's character. But then that's after you found out that he didn't really just die in the crash, that it was Jason Statham's Shaw character that had supposed to have blown him up and killed him. But even that's not the case now. They just change it to whatever they want, you know, just to bring someone back. But the end is the best thing, because they're all like sitting around together having the meal. Was to say as well is that there is another one. There's another one because it has like a sort of post-credits scene. So there's another one on the way. It's a shame. It's a bit like, I'd say, it kind of reminded me. There's a game called Dino Crisis, which was completely under the control of Shinji Mikami, who made the Resident Evil games, sorry Shinji. He had nothing to do with the movies. But they made that one, he made that one, it was brilliant. It was like Resident Evil but with dinosaurs. They then made Dino Crisis 2, which was also really, really good. You know, you was back on this island and you had all the jungles and everything and all the like monsters, and there's one bit where you have to like fight this big dinosaur in a boat and everything. It was really, really good. But Dino Crisis 3 was just on this spaceship in space and was absolutely rubbish. And that's kind of, you know, I mean, they're now going in space, taking on armies of people, doing all these ridiculously over the top stunts and ridiculous things like with the magnets. It's so funny. And then bringing harm back and how they've I still don't know how. I don't know how. I watched him in the original. Okay, you could then have Hobbs was there. We didn't see him maybe while he's calling Tom. I didn't see him, but he was there. But then to know that he got out, I don't know how he got out. I don't know how he got out. I don't know how he got out. But anyway, this is just an ASMR video. But it made me laugh so much because of it. It's like I thought, well, now you can bring back Gal Gadot, because she died. You can bring her back, you know, because I'm sure something was going on. Why she was, you know, when she got killed. Perhaps she made a deal with Mr. Nobody, no one knows. Nobody knows. But they can just write what they want. You know, it was like, how did they bring back Michael Myers after Laurie chopped his head off? You know, he'd kidnapped the ambulance driver, or got the ambulance driver, put the mask over him. That's how they done it.